AFTV Frank, good win for Arsenal today. Now top of the group in the Champions League, and that was a tricky fixture. When you looked at after the international break and you looked at the two upcoming fixtures, away at Stamford Bridge, away at Sevilla. Not easy, but Arsenal negotiated both.
Absolutely, and obviously it was fairly disappointing, the way in which we drew to Chelsea. Obviously we all expected to see a better performance, and I think we made up for that today. It was an absolutely fantastic performance. I suppose those last 10 minutes or so were a little bit shaky. Sevilla really started putting on the pressure, but the positive for me is that at Arsenal, they managed to, contain that pressure, didn't allow Sevilla to get the equaliser from it, and I can't complain.
Yeah, you can't complain, and some great goals in the game.
Fantastic goals. Gabriel Jesus is now the second player in Arsenal history to score in all three of his first Champions League appearances for the club. The only other person to do that is Marouane Chamakh in the 2011 season. So some information station stats for you there. And on top of that, the Gabriel Martinelli one, he's now scored on his first appearance in the Premier League, the Champions League, the Europa League, the League Cup, and the only one missing is the FA Cup, unfortunately. But two fantastic goals, both created, and both Gabriel Jesus plays a starring role in both. The way
amazing stats.
Listen, I know it's just what I do, Robbie. Sorry. The way he turns those defenders and absolutely sends both of them to the shop for that first goal, and the ball into Gabriel Martinelli. Sorry, I'm probably going to get the surnames mixed up a bit here because all of the Gabriels are involved. But the way, the ball that he plays through, and Gabriel Martinelli to, obviously missing the opportunity that he did in the first half, obviously should have done a little bit better, like you said on the stream, probably should have taken it past the keeper, but to show the composure, take it around the goalkeeper, finish it off, fantastic. And, what can I say about that Gabriel Jesus goal? The angle at which he hits that from, and the keeper had absolutely no chance. And people have been giving Gabriel Jesus a lot of criticism recently, and that's what a way to shut everyone up.
I don't know why, because he is a top quality player, and he has been scoring goals.
100%, and I kind of see why, because obviously I think, when you look at all of these other teams, you've like Man City, you've got Erling Haaland. Every team has that goal scorer that's going to get them 20, 25 goals a season. If you look at the big six, maybe minus Chelsea. Gabriel Jesus, I don't think is going to be that player where you're going to get 20, 25 goals a season from him. But he's still a very respectable player. I think he's more towards that 15 goal a season mark. We saw it last season where he got 15. And I can sort of see it, but I think in a way it has been fairly harsh. And I think, again, today proved it.
Yep, and we're in control of the group now. Next two games are at home. You think we should be getting through this comfortably now?
You say comfortably. Obviously, we made it a little bit harder for ourselves going into this game because of the Lens result. I think I said it previously. The Lens games, both of the Lens games respectively, were supposed to be what I like to call the goal difference games. The games where we was meant to kind of breeze through it. Obviously, that didn't happen in the first game against them, and that put the pressure on us quite seriously for this game. And obviously, this was the game where it was meant to be a little bit of a struggle. This is definitely the hardest game of the group for us, but we look to it. I think next in the group we've got them at home, then it's Lens at home, and then PSV away. I believe it is, or it's one of those ways around. But yeah, I suppose I think we can get through this group quite comfortably from this point onwards.
Yep. And one last thing, Raya watch. How did he get on today for you?
You know what, he was much better than we've seen from him in the last few games. Obviously, don't get me wrong, the distribution still wasn't quite there, but he certainly made up for it in this game. There was a few crucial saves, and that one right at the end there where he goes to punch it, and he punches it the other way. It was quite a strange one actually, and that can go one of two ways. Either he's punching it into his own net, and I'm sure it would have been absolute pandemonium in the studio and amongst the Arsenal fans if he'd have done that. But give him credit, he makes a save. There was a few decent saves throughout the game as well. I think back to the one, obviously it ended up being offside in the end, or a handball or something. Tipped it onto the bar. We've been quick to give him criticism where criticism has been due. So I think we can give him a lot of praise in this game. And, that probably knocks Aaron Ramsdale a bit back for, potentially the Sheffield game, which I think a lot of us would have potentially had him starting. But, there's always the League Cup.